Okay, so here we go. Ready to take our saber into its wonderful destination. So first I'm going to start by doing this. Um, Shoot. Okay. I need some. Gotta check your surroundings. I need some poops from the Fiomia. Whoops, changed my plates by accident. Okay. So I'm just gonna feed some stem berries to this Fiomia real quick. Uh, please don't lead the Alpha Raptor this way. I'm gonna feed some stem berries to this Fiomia real quick. That ought to be enough. Boom. Alright, so feeding stem berries to a Fiomia does force it to poop. Okay, we have an hour and like 23 minutes until this stuff expires. Which, I mean, I don't know how poop can spoil. It's already pretty spoiled. It's already rotten. But yeah. So, put the steg away. I'll keep the narco berries and the rare flowers. So, don't need the Fiomia anymore. Don't need the steg. Saber here. Narco berries. Let's just go ahead and do this. Okay. An hour and 22 minutes on this. Saber needs a saddle. Our best Saber saddle is this one, 63.8% armor. Saddle on. And here we go, traveling to our destination. Let's see, where are we? Okay, we're on the map here. We're going, all right. So the place we are heading to right now is a cave. If you don't know, if you're unfamiliar with Ark, the caves on the maps are like some of the hardest things to do in the game. They're like real challenging, and you have to have a creature that will help you get through the cave without, getting yourself killed. So I'm really like nervous about bringing this saber in because I just know the saber is not that strong. Um, if we had a better one, I wouldn't be as concerned, but this one's not that great. It was only level 85 when we found it in the wild, so it didn't tame up to go very high. But we're going to take it in there and try it out anyway. Hopefully with this Mastercraft saddle, it'll be alright. But yeah, caves are challenging. You go in here basically to get artifacts. There's artifacts hidden in the caves, and you have to collect the artifacts to progress through the game. They're a huge part of the game. If you want to like play through and defeat the bosses and things like that, you do have to have these artifacts. So I'm gonna go in here. I'm not gonna get the artifact out of this cave today or right now, just because I know the saber is not strong enough to make it through to the end. But this saber will be strong enough at least to get me maybe to where I want to be in the cave, which basically we've only come here to find dung beetles. So you can find dung beetles only in the caves on the island. On other maps, they may just be out and about, but on this map, you can only find them in the caves. So I'm going to... Man, I don't have medical brew. I didn't bring my lesser antidotes. I should have brought lesser antidotes. That's not good. I don't have medical brews or anything, bro. So this is going to be a bit tricky, but we're going to try and pull it off anyway. I'm going to go inside the cave. I'm only going to go so far as to where I find a dung beetle. As soon as I find a dung beetle, I'm getting out. I'm not staying in here. I'm not risking it. You know, if I even make it to see a dung beetle, that's great. But that's just what we're doing. We're going to find and tame a dung beetle inside this cave. And most of the time in the caves on the island, you can't tame any of the creatures in the caves because they're over the normal max level. So you can only kill them or just, you know, escape them, but you cannot tame them. Only dung beetles you can tame unless they're, you know, over the max level as well. So I'm just collecting some fiber because I'm going to need to make sleeping bags once I get in here and, like, get started going through the cave. So I'm just going to throw my saber. Now, where we are on the map right now, 40.2, 46.5. I'm going to show you what the cave entrance looks like and, you know, from an aerial view, if you've never seen it. So it's like this. This is the cave. It's literally like under a hill. It's right next to the volcano. This is it right here. It's kind of hidden, but you go under the hill and there it is. You also cannot fly in a cave. If you take a flying creature in a cave, it's just going to kick you off of your flying creature like that. So you can't bring flyers in caves. Here we go on the saber. We're going to see what we can do. Hopefully we can at least find a dung beetle and maybe not get killed. I'm really crossing my fingers on this one. But I'm not going to lie. This is making me nervous as shit. So I'm going to go around this way. There's an explorer note there, which would be great for this saber. It'll help it gain some experience.
Were it not restricted to the waters, Carcharodon ultramegalodon would be one of the most dangerous creatures.
It's an explorer note on the megalodon.
As powerful and dangerous as the Tyrannosaurus is on land, Megalodon is near its equal in the water. In addition, it has a speed advantage over any non-aquatic creature when submerged. Megalodons need large quantities of food to sustain themselves, so they attack most...
The first round of trials for my new Lazarus chowder have gone marvelously, but I have found it hard to maintain my enthusiasm. After all, I will never get truly definitive results with only Mesopithecus subjects. It is quite frustrating. Even so, I see now that Isabel was right. Having my assistants take part in the trials would be asking too much of them, and they are too valuable to risk so frivolously. If I cannot find human subjects from the nearby tribes, then I shall have to make do with trials on apes and monkeys. Perhaps it is finally time to capture some Gigantopithecus.
Let's go. Here we go. Okay, you gotta be careful when fighting these bats in the caves because they can give you a disease called mega rabies, and once you contract mega rabies, it can kill you and your creature. You know, there are ways of getting out of dying from that, but it's very few. So you have to. Oh, come on. There we go. So you just got to be careful when you're in these caves. There's lots of ways you can die, lots of dangers. Obviously, the creatures are the big danger, but another big danger is contracting the mega rabies from the bats. And now I'm gonna craft a few sleeping bags, or maybe just one for now, because I don't want to weigh down my saber too much. It's already it's already kind of heavy. I'm gonna feed it this raw meat to heal it up before we continue on, because I don't want to have this thing fighting with reduced health. All right, sweet. Now I'm gonna place this sleeping bag like right here, because if there's ever can we not place it? Oh, looks like you can't place sleeping bags in a cave. Oh wait, yeah, you can. Okay, I was about to say, yo. Okay, so if there's ever a moment that we need to escape, you know, if things go horribly wrong in here and I just need to get out, then I can respawn at that sleeping bag and just run to the exit. Or if I need to come back and maybe grab my things, say if I die and I need to come back and like pick up my items, I can respawn right here in the cave, walk over to my items if I can, if it's safe enough, and then I'll be able to grab my items and get out of there. Let me see if I can place another one somewhere. Oh, it lose green right there, but I don't want it right off in the open. You know what? Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll just place it right here. Can we name these sleeping bags? You can. Okay. This one is I don't even know which cave this is. I forgot which cave this is. Shoot. Whatever. Well, so far it's the only cave we've been in, so I'm just gonna name it Cave. I'll name it Cave 1. There's a total of 10 caves on the island. I don't know if I've already said that in the previous video, but there's a total of 10 artifact caves on the island. There are caves on the island that don't have artifacts in them. They're just random caves where you can get resources. I believe they're underwater. But there's 10 caves where you get artifacts, and the artifacts, like I said, are important to basically get through and complete the game. Alright, so I'm gonna keep going now. We still haven't found a dung beetle, so I'm gonna keep going till we get one. As you can hear all the noises from the creatures that are in here, ready to kill us at any moment. Gonna continue on. Oh boy. Alright, let's do this. Oh no. Oh, okay, I thought I got the mega rabies. Come on. God, I hate these bats. Oh no, that was a dung beetle. Ah, I needed that. The first dung beetle we saw, we accidentally killed it. Dang it. That's terrible. Okay, here's 2 more dung beetles. They're angry because we killed their friend, but we can get them to not be aggressive just by running away and then coming back. Because they are passive creatures. They only get angry if you attack them or if you attack one of their own. Okay, so I'm gonna hang out here. Give it a sec. Let's heal up my saber. Okay. And now I'm gonna go back down, and maybe they won't be angry anymore. There's a spider there. I think they're still upset. Nope. They've calmed down. Alright, great. I'm gonna kill this spider. And by the way, you can't use weapons on the back of every creature in this game. There are some creatures in this game where you can't use a weapon while on their saddle, but a saber is one of the ones where you can, because you don't have to like hang on to the saddle. As you can see, if I go into, well, I can't go into third person while holding the crossbow, but if I go into orbital camera, you can see that he can sit on the saber while still holding a weapon. You can't do that with every creature, but you can do that with some. Now I'm going to try and tame these dung beetles, and the way you do that is, of course, with feces. So the larger the feces, the better. This one is a medium-sized animal feces. You just put it in the last slot of your hotbar. That's how you do all passive tames. And I'm going to walk up to it and feed it the animal feces. That just went to 38%. Where'd the other dung beetle go? That's dead. There's a scorpion over there I see coming at me. Oof. Also, being in the caves is a great way to collect chitin. Also a great way to collect meat. As you see, we've been getting lots of meat in here. And also lots of chitin. So I'm going to keep all this chitin. I'm going to keep the hide. Only thing I'm not going to keep is the meat. Yeah. So we're going to keep that. Going to keep this. I'm even going to keep these arrows and stuff too. Not going to keep all this extra though. Probably not going to keep these seeds. Okay, so there was another dung beetle. I'm going to look for it. All you have to do is wait till they're hungry again. That one's not. I don't know where the other dung beetle went. Uh-oh. Okay, this is a 145 bat. A good way to get them easily is like get up against the wall like this. So they'll just fly into the wall and you can attack them like that. Instead of them just flying over your head. See, it's easier to hit it like this against the wall. And sometimes it'll even get stuck in between you and the wall. And then it'll be easier to kill like this. See, it's stuck between the wall. Okay, so right now I do have mega rabies. As you can see on the bottom right corner of my screen, it says I've got mega rabies. And it did say at the top of the screen when I got it that you've contracted mega rabies. So a way you can survive this is if you have a lot of health, which I don't have that much health, so I'm not going to survive it. Or if you have medical brews, you can survive it. It only lasts for, I don't know, maybe like 80 seconds or something. But, if you have medical brews or you have a lesser antidote or you have a lot of health, you can survive it. Right now, I'm not going to be able to survive this because I don't have much health. I don't have any lesser antidotes, and I don't have any medical brews. So I am going to die. That's fine, because that's why we have our sleeping bags. What's in here? Oh. Okay. So there we go. Our first cave death. So we're going to respawn at one of our cave bags. Alright, came right back. And I'm going to place down another one since we just used that one. You can only use a sleeping bag once. Gonna grab all my items. Craft under the sleeping bag. Let's see if we can feed the dung beetle again. We can, nice. And now when you're taming dung beetles, you do want to find a high level one. The higher the level, the better. I think I'm going to pick this up because I don't want it right there. There were creatures spawning there, and it's just going to get broken if something attacks it. I'm going to place it right here. Another one right next to it. Okay. Oh, there's the other dung beetle. Dude, it was right above our head the entire time. So taming a high level dung beetle is important because the higher the level, the more effective their ability will be. And their ability is to make fertilizer and oil. So by taming one of these things, or even more than one of these things, which we want to do, you will have a supply of oil and fertilizer um, as long as you have feces available for them. I just realized though, I did not bring any empty cryopods for the dung beetles. So that's going to be a problem. I forgot to bring empty cryopods. Sucker. Let's go. Alright, so we've got our first dung beetle, level 67. And now these things, I'll show you their abilities when we get out of the cave. I don't think it's a good idea to do it here. Okay. So I'm going to go through this cave a little bit more while this thing is like waiting to be hungry again. I'm gonna go through here a little more and see if maybe there's a better one. Actually, I changed my mind on that. I'm probably not gonna risk it. I don't have any other cryopods anyway, so it's not like I'm able to have so many of these things with me. I will be able to carry 2 of them though, because one can be in the cryopod while I'm on a pteranodon, and then the other I can carry in my hand because you can pick them up. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm just gonna cut the video here and tame this thing up and bring it back when we get back to base. Alright, this one came out to be level 74. Not bad. So this one, we're just gonna carry in our hands. Like that. And we're gonna get out of here. I actually just realized before I even leave the cave, I can demonstrate what this thing does real quick. So what you would do with the dung beetle, I'm in a safe area right now, so I think I'm good to explain. What you do with the dung beetle is you would, as you can see, you can disable feces collection, which it does collect feces automatically. You don't have to do anything for it to do that. But what you need to do is you go into its settings wheels, and then you go into enable wandering. I'm going to put this thing on passive because I don't want it to ever be attacking anything. Don't want it to get killed. So you put it on enable wandering. It already has poop in its inventory because it picked up poop from the saber. But the dung beetles, if there's poop nearby, they'll automatically collect it. As you see. Now, it doesn't matter how much they weigh. As you can see, dung beetles don't have much weight. Look, it can only carry 6 pounds, and the poops have their own weight, a pound and a half. But it doesn't matter how much weight the dung beetle has; it will just continue to collect poop until it can't no more. Now, a creature or inventory that can't pick up anything anymore is because it's capped out. It caps out at like 300 slots. So once this thing picks up like 300 pieces of poop, it won't be able to pick up anything else. Um, but no matter the weight, it's going to continue to collect until it hits that. Now, I've heard people say that putting the points into melee damage is how you really get this ability up. Not really sure about that, but I'm just going to do it anyway because I haven't heard anything else. But yeah, they pick up poop around the area, and they only have a certain range depending on what their level is. So this level 75 is going to be able to pick up poop from a farther range than this level 67. I believe it goes up every 5 levels. So every 5 levels, they will be able to collect poop from farther and farther away. So if you have one that's like above level 150, if you tame one that's wild level 150 and then, it becomes like above level 150 with the bonus levels, that's going to be really good because it's going to be able to pick up poop from a far distance. Um, so what they do with the poop, as long as you keep them on wandering, they will passively make fertilizer with the poop and they'll make oil. So you'll see by the time I get home with this dung beetle, the saber just pooped again and it just picked it up. By the time I get home with this dung beetle, it's probably going to have some oil and fertilizer ready for us already. Okay. So we've made it back out of the cave. This doesn't have anything I want to keep. And dung beetles eat spoiled meat. So, yes, when you're taming them, you have to feed them poop. But once you've tamed them, you have to feed them spoiled meat. You have to have spoiled meat either in their inventory or in the feeding trough for them to eat. If you don't feed them, they will die, obviously. They will starve just like any other creature in the game. So you have to make sure you have some spoiled meat on hand at all times for the dung beetles. Okay, so we have made it back to base, and since I have this dung beetle on wandering, do I have any more crystal? Oof, not enough. Not enough at all. Since I have this dung beetle on wandering, I'm gonna keep it in here because it is gonna walk around since it's on wandering. That's what wandering does. Your creature will just walk around. It hasn't made any fertilizer or oil yet. I'm gonna put a door there because I don't want it to walk out of our base at any moment. I'm gonna put a stone door, even though I should have a greenhouse door, but I don't. So there's that. Now I'm gonna make it to open out. Oh, okay. I must have the door on backwards, whatever. So open in. There we go. So now whenever I open the door, it'll open this way. And this dung beetle will just continue to wander around in this little space. It is on the feeding trough. The way you can tell that it's eating from the trough is that little feeding trough symbol just above its head. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's very small. Or just above its name. It's got a little symbol that looks like the feeding trough there. So now we have to put some spoiled meat in the feeding trough so that we make sure we keep this thing fed. Whoa, something's attacking. Oh, there's a raptor. Oh boy. I thought this pteranodon could handle itself, but I guess not. Look at it, man. It's taking a beating. Oh my god. This might not be good. Okay. Woo. That was crazy. Jeez. Pteranodons are not fighters, man. Don't try and fight with the pteranodons. Not good. I thought it would handle that much quicker, but obviously not. Anyway, gonna put some spoiled meat in here. Oh, there's already spoiled meat in there. Gonna put more spoiled meat in there, just for the dung beetle to eat. Let's see. Let's bring this thing inside. And we're gonna do the same thing with the other dung beetle. We're gonna place it down, and I'm gonna put it on passive. I'm actually gonna put them on ignore group whistles as well. Turning the ignore group whistles means that when you like whistle your creatures to do something, the dung beetles will obviously not follow whatever the command is. So like if I whistle my stag to attack something outside or whatever, they won't try and attack as well. So they'll just ignore whatever's happening around. Uh, so yeah, this one I've got to put it on wandering. Okay, cool. You cannot mate dung beetles. They do not mate. As you see, they don't even have a gender. So yeah, the only way to get more dung beetles is by going into the caves and taming more. Um, I'm gonna drop this. I forgot I even had this. Well, I'll put it in this one's inventory since this one hasn't collected any poop yet. Now, the way you get them to collect poop is basically you have to have some creatures around that will just poop at any random time, or you have to, if there's wild creatures about, like how there's always wild creatures walking around my base, if they poop, the dung beetles will just pick it up. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this stag just to ensure that they actually do get some poops. I'm gonna take this stag and I'm gonna place it on top of my roof. Maybe I'll place two creatures up here. And I'm just gonna leave it on the roof because I don't want them on the floor where they'll get attacked by something and then, they'll probably start running around chasing it, trying to kill whatever. And then when they do that, they, they're obviously getting off of the task, which we want them to just sit here and produce poop for the dung beetles. That is the goal. So don't want them getting distracted, running off, trying to kill things. So I'm gonna leave this stag like this here. I'm gonna set it to ignore group whistles, and I'm gonna set it to passive. So now that's just gonna remain there, and every time it poops, the dung beetles will just collect it. I think I'm gonna place another creature up there as well, just because we want the poops to be frequent. So I'm probably gonna place one of the theories. I just want to place something up there that I'm not gonna. Oh, you know what? Phiomia. Duh. These things poop so much, it's ridiculous. So I'm gonna put the Phiomia up here. I actually just had a realization. My goodness. Okay, so never mind on that. I am still going to use this stag though. We'll do it like this. I'll have the stag collect some stem berries. Can you? Okay, won't grab that bush, whatever. There we go. Alright. Should have plenty of stem berries. I'm not going to keep these seeds, but I'm going to take everything else. Gonna put the stag away. I think I might bring this feeding trough inside. Yeah, I just don't like running out there all the time to put things in the trough. Anyway, the pteranodon has pooped a couple times and the dung beetles have picked it up. I'm gonna put the pteranodon in cryo. This thing is super bloody and beat up. But it's okay because it's gonna heal itself. Oh, whoops, I left that door open. I'm like, how'd you get out? It's gonna heal itself over time while in cryo. Let's get a ceiling piece here. I'm gonna get this metal one. Gonna get up here like this, and I'll use this right here. And I'll place this feeding trough. Trying to get it placed. That's fine. It could be like that. That's cool. I can't reach it from down here, but I could just get up there. So, there we go. There's the trough. I'm going to put berries in it. Whoops. I'm going to put berries in it for the Phiomia to eat. And then we're going to put the spoiled meat for the dung beetles. And now, I just realized since I have the Phiomia, all I have to do is... I'm not going to put it in here. I'm going to take another ceiling piece. It's the last ceiling piece I have up here. I'm going to I don't know. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if I can throw the Phiomia. Let's go. Alright, that was sick. So, I'm going to put the Phiomia right here. I'm going to leave it just up here on its own. And, oh man, I'm going to get stuck in the roof when I dismount. Oh, nope. I'm stuck in the Phiomia. Can I lay down? I can, but that doesn't help. Okay. Let's see if we can turn it sideways. Will that make a difference? No, it does not. Okay. So keeping the Phiomia up here is not going to work. So I do need to keep it down below. Dang it. Well, alright. I'm going to have to expand this base at some point. But for right now, we're going to keep the Phiomia in here in the greenhouse. It's pretty chunky, so it's taking up a lot of the space, but it's alright. It's just temporary. Eventually we will expand this base. But this is how we're going to do the dung beetle situation. So the Phiomia poops a lot when you feed it stem berries. You do need to upgrade its food. If you tame a Phiomia, the only points you should be, spending is food. Because when you feed it stem berries, its food goes down drastically, and then it has to eat a lot to replenish the food. But the more food you have, the better because, it won't go down so much. So I'm going to feed this thing some stem berries. It's just going to keep pooping. And those dung beetles are going to continuously pick them up. Now, as you can see, the Phiomia's food went down from like 8,000 to 6,500. If I kept feeding it stem berries all the way until the food goes down, it will no longer produce poops. But it does just passively poop on its own because it's just a fat little chunky pig, and they just continuously poop. Even if you're not feeding them stem berries, they'll just continue to poop on their own. But you can feed it stem berries to force it to poop. So now the dung beetles have collected all of that Phiomia feces, and as you can see, these are medium animal feces that they're picking up from the Phiomia. The size of the feces does matter because when they collect the medium feces, I think they make you a couple of fertilizers and oil from like one medium feces, and like a small one, I think they just make like one fertilizer, one oil. But as you can see, it's made 3 fertilizer and 3 oil already. And you don't have to do anything for them to make this. All you have to do is ensure that they are on wandering. They will passively create this on their own. So that one's already produced some. This one has not produced anything yet, but it will eventually. And as long as the Phiomia keeps pooping, they're just going to keep collecting it. The fertilizer is going to be important because this is how we're going to start our greenhouse. So I'm going to show you real quick if I have some seeds. Oh, I have 1 seed. I'm going to show you with this 1 seed. Okay. So first we need to craft a medium crop plot. You can only do this in a medium crop plot because the crops, the vegetable crops can only grow in a medium crop plot. There are things that can grow in a small crop plot, like berries. Only berry seeds can grow in a small crop plot. But for actual crops, like the vegetables, you need to grow them in a medium one. So I'm going to craft that real quick. We need fiber, thatch, stone, and wood. There's some wood, thatch, stone. I hope we got enough here. Medium crop plot. Here we go. And crops are an important thing in the game. They're a food source for yourself. You can eat them. Also, your creatures can eat them if you have herbivores. When you're taming creatures, crops are better than berries. So if you use crops instead of berries, you'll get better results with the taming of herbivores. So we have our crop plot placed down. I've got 1 crop seed in here. Crop seeds do spoil over time. I had a lot of seeds, but they did spoil. This one is for a carrot. So I'm going to just put the crop seed in there. As you can see, at the bottom of this crop plot, it says greenhouse effect 270%. The maximum that can go to is 300%. The way you get the greenhouse effect, there's a raptor out there, is by having greenhouse structures placed down around the crop plot. The more structures you have placed that are greenhouse, the better the greenhouse effect. So this thing is automatically pulling water from our water tanks up above on our base. As you can see, the water is filling up. It says 9 out of 400. You can do, if I pick up this greenhouse wall, you'll see the percentage of the greenhouse effect went down to 255. Placing the greenhouse wall back down, it goes back up to 270. It gains about 15 points per greenhouse wall piece or greenhouse structure piece that you have around it. Eventually I'm going to expand right here and make that greenhouse pieces as well, so that should bring us to the 300%. So yeah, it's pulling water from the water tanks up above. You don't have to do anything to water it. It says tilled the plot with a shovel to increase growth and yield. Can we do that? Do we have a shovel? Can we make a shovel? Let's see. Cementing paste, wood, and metal ingots. We have that stuff. You craft this in a smithy. Weapons, melee. Need some wood in there. Okay, let's make the shovel. In order to craft a shovel, you do have to have an expansion pack on this game. It's called Bob's Tall Tales. As you can see when I looked it up, it's got this little picture right here. And I thought it would say it, but it doesn't. What's this? Is this it? Yeah, Bob's Tall Tales. This is where you can unlock things that is from that expansion pack. So you do have to purchase an expansion pack to be able to make a shovel. It's not a part of the base game. But even still, you can still do this stuff without the shovel. Now, how do you do this with the shovel? Do I just dig it like that? Oh yeah, okay. Soil tilled, growth bonus 30%. Awesome. So even if you don't have a shovel, it doesn't matter. You don't need to do that to get it to grow. The only thing you need to have is the greenhouse effect. Really, the greenhouse effect is what does it. So now that you've got the seed in there, you collect some fertilizer from your dung beetle. See if this one has any. Not yet. And you put the seed in there, you put the fertilizer in. And once you put the fertilizer in and it's already got some water, you're going to see the seed disappears and it's already started to grow a crop. So it does take a little while for this to grow, but as long as you have the greenhouse effect, it will grow up pretty quickly. So by tomorrow, we'll have some crops growing. So increasing that greenhouse effect is important. I'm going to get to the 300% soon. But also having that shovel is helpful as well. So yeah, this is what we've done for today. We took the saber into the cave, got us some dung beetles, and we've now set us up a small crop plot, or a medium crop plot, with some carrots growing. So I'm going to continue to add on to this over time, but this is the setup for now. So another thing I should probably mention is make sure you keep food, lots of berries in here at all times. Phiomias are fat, and they do just constantly eat, so you do have to keep this thing filled up. Otherwise, they will starve, obviously. So they eat a lot compared to other creatures, so you have to keep a lot of berries in here for them. Just out collecting some berries for the Phiomia, but another thing I forgot to mention is when you're growing the crops with your crop plot and greenhouse and things, make sure you keep enough fertilizer in the crop plots. If you don't keep fertilizer in the crop plots, or it's not continuously receiving water from a nearby water source or water tank, the crops will not grow. So the seed will die. You won't get any crops from it, and you'll have to like plant another seed and start the process all over. So just make sure at all times you're keeping it filled up with fertilizer, and it's constantly drawing water from somewhere. You just make sure you look at it, make sure it says that it has water. And if it doesn't have water, then you need to move it to somewhere where it will get water, or place some nearby water tanks with some water in them. And so I gathered up enough materials to craft 3 more crop plots. There are only 4 crop types in the game. There are like 6 different berries you can grow, but I'm only going to grow crops. I'm not growing the berries. So I just need the 3 additional crop plots for the seeds. This is one of the crops you can grow. This is a lemon seed. This one here is corn. And the last one, we already have carrots. This is potatoes. I'm going to keep those carrot seeds anyway. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to place all my seeds in the preserving bin. you can stack these crop plots. Okay, we do have some more fertilizer in here. Great. And some more oil. Oh, this one's got some fertilizer too. Nice. And they're producing me oil passively, so I don't even have to go out and collect any. Now I'm just going to put the fertilizer in here. Okay. So you can stack crop plots on top of each other in the game. As long as you have the snapping enabled, you can do it just like that. I know it doesn't make sense, but you can stack crops like that and they'll still grow. So these all have the 270% greenhouse effect. I'm going to use the shovel on them as well to increase the growth. Did that. Oh, you have to stand on top of it. Oh, okay. So I don't think it's gonna. Okay, let's pick these up then, because we're gonna have to do it. Let's see, the bottom one is tilled. We're gonna have to do it like this. Okay, so we did that. Then let's place the other one. And there we go, another one done. And then we'll place the last one. And that doesn't work. Okay, gotta get up here. Okay, cool. So now they'll all have a 30% growth bonus, which is awesome. And now we'll just, whenever we get more fertilizer, I have to wait for more fertilizer because I need enough to be able to fill these things up, because they do kind of go through the fertilizer a little quick. So while these other ones are collecting water right now, whatever, I'm gonna wait for more fertilizer. And when I get more fertilizer, I'm gonna plant seeds in each one of these until we have all 4 crops growing. And once you've got all 4 crops growing, they can be used for many various things in the game. They can be used for different types of foods. They can be used to craft different types of foods, consumables. They're used to make kibble, which kibble is important because kibble is like the best way to tame any creatures in the game. So if you have herbivores that you're taming them with berries, Mijo berry is the best berry. Taming them with crops, any crop will do. Any crop works better than a Mijo berry. And kibble is the best taming method. Kibble makes sure that they get the 100% taming effectiveness every time. The only way you'll lose effectiveness is if the creature gets attacked or takes any damage while it's knocked out or anything like that. But all the creatures in the game love a certain type of kibble. There's 6 different kinds of kibble, just like the 6 rarity tiers of anything in the game. You have basic kibble, simple kibble, regular kibble. Then there's like extraordinary kibble, superior kibble, stuff like that. So you go through all the 6 different types of kibbles, and to make those kibbles, you will need all the different types of crops. You also need the crops to make vegetable cakes, which certain creatures in the game eat vegetable cakes. Only herbivores eat vegetable cakes, but vegetable cakes are used as a healing agent for the herbivores. Just like how you can heal up a carnivore by force feeding it all the meat in its inventory. You feed a herbivore vegetable cakes and they will just start healing automatically. So it's an awesome thing. And you also use vegetable cakes to tame snails, which now that we have all this stuff going, we'll soon be able to have some snails. And we'll get organic polymer. Now that we have all these narco berries, I'm going to use all of these narco berries to turn all of the spoiled meat I have into narcotics. Crafting narcotics is a good way to passively earn XP. As you craft the narcotics, you will just gain experience. So I'm going to take all this stuff out and just put narco berries and meat, spoiled meat. And we're just going to craft all that we can craft. We can craft 360. Nice. Now I'm going to take all these stem berries off of the steg and put them in the Phiomia's inventory. There we go. Okay, it can only carry that much. But I'm going to keep all these here because whenever I need to come make the Phiomia poop, it'll be full of berries already, and we just do that. Just going to drop the rest of these. And all the other berries I'm going to put in the feeding trough for the Phiomia. I'm going to drop all these seeds. I don't need all these. Just going to take however many berries I can take. And they're all going to go into the feeding trough. You know what? I'm going to keep the Mijo berries. Out of all the berries, I'm just going to keep the Mijo berries mostly because I feel like those are very important because they are the best taming berries. So in case I need to tame anything, whoops, I was not trying to do all that. In case I need to tame anything, at least we'll have like some Mijo berries on standby. But actually with the crops growing, we're just going to use crops now. No longer going to need Mijo berries. But I'm still going to put them all in the feeding trough. And then just fill it with whatever else is left over if we don't have enough. Okay. Don't want to put more flour in there. Okay, let's get some more berries in here. I don't know how much more I needed to fill up the trough. Oh, snap. There we go. So we've got our feeding trough filled. Phiomia will be, Phiomia will be good and satisfied. It's going to eat all these berries for sure. Got the spoiled meat for dung beetles. We've got some raw meat in here that once it spoils, it'll just add on to the spoiled meat for the dung beetles. I'm actually just going to put some more raw meat in there just to add on to that. That way you have a continuous supply of meat just spoiling, and the dung beetles can feed from that. Place that back in there. The rest of these berries and things I don't need. Just gonna go through here and make sure there's nothing I want to keep. Nope. Okay. And now I'm just gonna cryo the steg. The steg's gonna drop everything right there, and that's fine because we don't want any of that stuff. And now, oh, you know what? I just realized I never put my chibi back on after I died in the cave. I was like, why is it so dark? It's hilarious. All right, so there we go. Got our steak put up, and we've got our greenhouse set up for today. Everything we needed, we've got it. We even got some oil being made. We are making our way in this world, Survivor.